The Nerdgasm Talk podcast is brought to you by Spaces Philly. If you love podcasts, go to spacesphilly.com where you can check out Lulu and Pop, Both Sides, Turntables, Jump Thought Super Tongue, and the Nerd Coalition's very own No Gimmicks Needed. Visit spacesphilly.com today. And now, feel the Nerdgasm.
We remember earlier this year at the Oscars when Will Smith walked up on stage and slapped the shit out of Chris Rock. Well, we was debating, like, what the hell happened? Like, was this shit real? Whatever. And then we found out it was. And then we seen the punishments that came out. Chris Rock has been doing shows. He briefly mentions it. Tony Rock came out and said something. His mother came out and said something. It's just been an ongoing thing. Will typed out an apology on his Instagram. Well, finally, he came out with a video. And he just sat down, like on his YouTube channel. He sat down. It wasn't no Oprah. It wasn't no Gail King. Good Lord. Gail King. It wasn't no Red Table Talk. It was just Will Smith talking. And he wanted to offer...
L. It's an L.
It's an L. What's an L?
Why you gotta do all this?
What you mean?
He can't just call him or try to get in contact with him any kind of way?
He did.
So he talked to him.
He did not. He's not calling. He's not talking to him right now.
All right then.
No, what you mean? All right.
So he tried to call him or talk to him, and Chris doesn't want to talk to him or talk to him right now.
The video came out, so he explained in the video. He apologized again, and he apologized to people that he affected. You know, the usual stuff. And he said, "I tried to reach out to Chris, and he was, to talk, but he hasn't gotten back to me because he's still upset about the situation. He's not ready to talk yet." That's the word. He wasn't ready to talk yet. And he said, at the end, he said that when we do talk, I hope we can be friends again. But then he also apologized to Tony.
That's all right.
Okay, hold on. Let me get to the end. Okay, he apologized to Tony Rock, and he apologized to his mother because and he said he wasn't realizing that the people that he affected, obviously, when that whole thing happened. And he said that him and Tony Rock was cool, and they were real cool because they worked on the show All of Us, which was a show about his life guy basically, and they was cool. But he said that friendship is probably irreparable between him and Tony Rock. He it's something that he has to accept. And he said all this, he was saying all this stuff like that, and it was kind of like he was looking at it, rambling, kind of like a child rambling who's in trouble, and then trying to hold back tears a little bit like that. But that's what basically the whole video was about, to see him publicly come out and talk about his actions and stuff like that. Now, obviously, you seem to have some kind of issue with it, so I want to hear your opinion.
I'm just gonna say, why is all this necessary?
It's very necessary. I mean, to a lot of people, it's very necessary because everybody say, well, it's easy to say an apology on Instagram. People
no, I'm just saying. You mean to tell me one of the most famous people in the whole world can't get in touch with Chris Rock? He can't find somebody to pull up, like he can't pull up to his house. He can't meet him in person. He can't call him.
What you talking about? If he don't want to be,
and then look, if he don't want to talk about it, then why are you talking about it? Just wait till he's ready to talk first, and then put the apology out after.
Let me ask you a question.
Have
Have you ever did something so embarrassing in your life to the point where you were in the wrong?
Yes.
Okay. Now,
but if I did a wrong to somebody,
if you did,
I would just wait till that person. I'm not gonna go on Instagram, guys. This is what I did today, and I'm sorry. I'm like, no, I'm gonna just wait till the issue is resolved.
But whoa. You're looking at it differently, and I'm saying, and here's the thing: you're saying this is not just a Chris Rock thing. This man went up there and acted a fool in front of millions of people.
Mm-hmm.
Millions of people.
Okay.
And
so you mean to tell me these millions of people got more affected than Chris Rock did?
No, you know that's not what I'm saying.
Exactly, I'm saying not to say that people don't matter, but people don't matter.
No, see,
you want to talk about the real issue?
You work in entertainment, you already know. You should already know that you can't have that kind of attitude. You personally,
I'm just saying, you're not going to resolve the issue. The issue is still not resolved. So what?
I'm just okay. First of all, even if somebody tries to call or say something, or first of all, or even know that they're wrong or they affected somebody. And okay, so if Chris Rock's people is not getting back to Will, and he puts out a video and say Chris Rock looks at the video and says, "Okay,
he's not,
huh?
He's not."
Okay, I'm just saying, but like, what I'm saying is, if that was the case, because everybody feels like I have done things to people that I have wronged them. I have done stupid things that I wish I could take back or that I regret doing. And honestly, I would look for it. I would want somebody to forgive me, or I try to apologize to somebody. And when that person does not want to respond to you, or so that hurts even more. That hurts even more. Especially when you affect more than one person. You talk about everybody don't matter. This is the court of public opinion. We have seen people that we admire, people that we enjoy, that we like, and everything get criticized by the court of public opinion. And you know that. So with that knowledge of you knowing that, why is it such a big... You have the I don't kind of care mentality, because it's kind of like I want to hide from this, or I want to just not deal with this.
I'm just saying, because you have an issue with somebody. If you have an issue with somebody, right?
Yeah.
And he said, you mean to me nobody can get in contact? He can't even get in contact with Chris Rock's mom to apologize to her one-on-one, or Tony Rock one-on-one?
He probably did. I'm saying, I'm going by what he told to say in the video.
But I just feel like the video was like a almost like a plea to make now, because some people are like, Chris Rock look back because he don't want to accept his apology now. It was like, I don't know. I'm
just saying, but even still, if he don't want to accept his apology, he has that right. That he doesn't want to accept his apology. But this is out of character for Will Smith, so people want to try to understand. I can't explain why people think and feel the way they do, but I would say, but people want to try to understand, or at least hear from this motherfucker, because they don't hear nothing from him.
Okay, it's not their business.
Bro, this is. Yes, obviously it's not okay. It feels it's not their business, but you can't do that as a celebrity, and you know that. When you are a celebrity, automatically you already know that you are sitting there and you are in the camera's eye, and they are always going to be a part of that. You know that.
Yes, exactly.
You work with them. You automatically dismissing and saying that is none of their business. That don't cut it. Unfortunately, that does not cut it.
It's okay. So what gets resolved then? What was resolved?
If you're talking about when it comes to his relationship with Chris Rock, nothing at the moment is resolved.
Exactly. So what's the point of the video? If nothing is resolved, what's the point of putting the video out there? If you put a video out there to say, all right, I'm sorry, but then, okay, then what?
Well, hold on real quick, because we just have Lady Sketch, who has joined in on the podcast as well. She wanted to give
I just so happened to be awake, and I heard this back and forth.
Did you happen to see the video at all? Or,
I didn't see the whole video, because we discussed this earlier. I didn't see the whole thing. I just honestly just didn't sit down and watch the whole.
Exactly. Nobody wanted to sit and watch no 5-minute video.
But it really wasn't because I didn't want to. It came across my timeline, and I was supposed to be working. So Neither here nor there. But when I was growing up, I was always taught that if you do something on a public stage, then you must either reap your consequences or make your apology on a public stage as well.
I've heard that also.
So if you do something, it's like, don't come at me and say somebody says something wild about you on social media. And they go off, but then they realize they're wrong, or they're like, you know what, I shouldn't have done that, but now they in your DMs like, I'm so sorry. No, not gonna cut it. It may not honestly resolve anything for them to make a post and say, oh, I was wrong, I was in my feelings. But if you make an ass of yourself on a public stage, you need to be willing to come up hat in hand also on a public stage.
You know, you keep saying what this resolve, because like I said, this, you're putting it on level like this is not, he did not slap Chris Rock in private.
Yeah.
You embarrassed this man in front of millions of people. Not only that, you embarrassed his family. That's how his mother felt. You also embarrassed us as black people.
And he embarrassed himself.
You embarrassed your when you think that you're fighting in your family's name, you embarrassed the family. You did more harm than you thought good in your mind at that moment. So when you have affected that many people, saying I'm sorry and I'm going to just look, I physically attacked Chris Rock, so let me just go talk to him because that's our business. No, bro, you have affected a lot more people out here. So if you got the bravery to go up on stage and slap me, you got the bravery to apologize in front of everybody and say, I was stupid, I was wrong, I fucked up. You got to have the balls to do that. And because it's not going to be pretty, and you gotta also accept that everybody that you affected, whether it was really Chris Rock or not, is not going to accept the apology, or they going to just be mad.
I would have left all that part out of it, just the apology, and that's all that he should have did.
I'm gonna be honest, because it would have been it's damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. If he had never addressed it at all, then it would have been, oh, he not sorry, and what was that all about? And then all the stuff that people been saying they could have just ran with forever and ever. He does do the video, and he should have just apologized and left, because then somebody would have said that was insincere. If he sat down and did this video, oh, it's too long, who's watching all of that? It's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But from what I was taught personally, and I know plenty of other people who were taught, it is the adult thing to do, especially the man thing to do, that if you did something to me, you better come to me in the same manner. So and it's the same thing now. We see it now with like parenting and things.
Yeah.
When we were kids, our parents never admitted they were wrong and said that they, and actually said, I apologize to us.
I try to do it with my son now.
And we try to do that with our son, because everybody's a human, including children.
Yes.
And some people can lose their temper, can say things that are crazy, or just outright accuse you of something that you didn't do, and that happens a lot with kids. So if you realize that you were wrong, it takes a lot of gumption to talk to somebody who a lot of people would be like they're beneath you, and go back and say, you know what, I was incorrect, I shouldn't have handled it that way. So I for one, I'm not going to say it was necessary, because it's not my personal business to say whether it was necessary or not. And I think that they have enough of a relationship that they would have communicated behind the scenes before this was done. And if Chris Rock is just like, I'm not with the shits right now, and he's like, well, look, because let's pretend. Let's not pretend that you've never done something to somebody and apologize, and he's like, "Well, I don't accept your apology."
Well, even
I have a question.
Okay.
I just have a simple. Well, not a simple. I just have a question. It's just like, honestly, the apology is, just it is what it is. I just don't like when you say, "Well, I tried to apologize to him, but he ain't even talking to me." Because then the media gonna take that and then they gonna make another article. Why is now he apologized? Now Chris Rock is being mean to him.
Yeah, but he never said that. That's what I'm saying. You have to watch the video to give context. He does not come off. He comes off as a child that has got in trouble, and he is forced, like he's been beaten, grounded, and now whoever he did the trouble to is forced to go back and tell that person, "I'm sorry." That's what that in the video he comes off as, to the point where he's rambling like a child would do. He's looking down. He's emotional at times, to the point where he's not confident. Will Smith. He's not, Oscar award winner. I'm trying to win a Grammy on this video. He's just like, I'm sitting down in the video. I just put the camera on, and I'm trying to express, because it's like as he's talking, he's realizing, yo, me and Tony Rock was really cool, and we did that show. And then when he sits back, it's like, that friendship is probably irreparable. It probably is. Yeah. Or when he talks about when Chris Rock's mom said, "You really slapped me," because how close they were. It probably, you know how moms are, and you know how black moms are. Definitely. Okay. I'm saying, "Oh, bro, that guilt trip will come on there, but I did this for you. I brought you in my house. I did all that stuff like that, and all that stuff. And they'll put all that on you. And then when you think about it, when you mess with somebody's mom, you're just like, man, I really did some bad. Like my mom used to do it to my friends all the time. For sure. We'll get them over to the house. I'm coming. You know what I'm saying? That's what moms do. Yeah. And that's what it is. And then when you feel like you hurt somebody's mama, no matter who it is, and you're like, oh damn.
As long as you have
a heart, yeah.
Because some people just don't
have a car. I say, but no, man. Look.
Hey, all right. Well, I guess I'm at this conversation.
You know what I'm saying? But also this conversation.
It really depends on if it's something that's never happened to you personally, then.
And also this.
I mean, I'm probably just like desensitized to it, because I deal with it. I had a long 2 years to try to get certain people back together. So I mean, maybe that's just why I'm just over it. Yeah. Probably.
And it also could be. It depends on where you've been at in the situation. I personally have been in a situation where someone publicly defamed me. And they were in the wrong. They were out here just making up stuff, saying all kinds of things on a public forum, and then tried to come back and apologize privately. And I said, whoa, no, because that's not what just happened. And I've also been, I can't say it's been like in writing on social media, but just in a, public setting, I've said something to someone that upset them, and was like, okay, well, I have to rectify this with this in the front of the same group of folks, so that it doesn't seem like, oh, I'm a person who just doesn't give a shit about somebody else's feelings, kind of deal. It really depends on, if you are desensitized to it, then it wouldn't bother you. But I don't know. I think that I've seen like his videos before this, where he would just sometimes I'm gonna cut on the camera and just talk to y'all and say whatever, and it doesn't seem very departed from the kind of things he did before this. Of course the content is, but from what I saw of it, it was kind of in the same vein of other things. It didn't seem like it was disingenuous, like he was just, this is not something he normally does. Like he don't just come sit in front of a camera and just start talking and, letting the words spill out, kind of thing. So, I don't know. It's just, honestly, everything ain't for everybody. The only people who this really should make an impact on is the people who were personally affected. And part of this, yes, was for the public, because they ran with this story. They beat this shit to the ground, okay?
Yeah.
And it was just like, And I can understand why he took a minute because, yes, you got to let it die down out the news cycle. Because it would have got whipped up in a frenzy with everything and got lost in the sauce if he had done it right when it happened. But also, sometimes you got to take time to self-reflect. And it sounds like, because after it happened, he did apparently, like, go somewhere and try and decompress or whatever.
Yeah.
And figure out what exactly is happening in your life that made you do this.
That made you go that much out of character. And that's something, because I am talking from experience. And like I said, everybody, because, you know, either to prove a point, or they may feel as though I done the same thing but not as bad. This is me personally. I remember when I had an anger problem, and this happened to me in my first job, and I acted out of character in front of the entire store. And when that happened, I had to come back, and I had to eat crow, and I had to make apologies, not just to the boss, to the store, and including the one thing that hurt the most was I embarrassed my mother.
Yeah, because she was there. So it's not like, oh, I heard this from...
Yeah, because my mother's working there too. And who got me the job? You got to be a man, you got to deal with that. And like I said, everybody does not have that experience where they went ape shit or did something completely embarrassing wrong in a public display. I'm not saying y'all have it. I'm just saying, talking for me and everybody who wants to think they have, like, maybe they did it in front of 2 or 3 friends. I did this in front of a whole store of people. Okay? To the point where it's just like, when you look back at it, you're like, oh my God. Like, to the point where there were a lot of people that really did like me, never really trusted me again with certain jobs. That happens. This also happened to me in college. This also happened to me after. Like, I've been through these situations before, me personally, and it's like, yes, there's more people that you're gonna have to apologize to and talk to, and usually you don't do it right after, because you really got to feel the weight of the shit you did.
Yeah, you're not going to know. If you don't know, because I hate those, so go apologize, especially when something just happened.
Yeah.
And you still mad about it. Like, when little stupid shit, we used to get in fights on the playground. Like, all right, now go apologize to so-and-so. Sir, I'm still mad. I don't care. This I'm sorry, is not coming from a place that I give a shit about.
Exactly. You got let this, manifest. And so, I'm not saying you're wrong, Prime, but what I'm saying is that the way you're looking at it and the way you handle things, the way you may personally handle things because of your experiences or how you want to decompress or how you want to get past them, you know personally from working in the industry, knowing that that's not the way you can do it. There are times where you may have wronged me or wronged somebody on the podcast, but in your mind, you probably don't even think I wronged anybody or did anything bad unless you really feel the way it's like, all right. And sometimes when people don't feel that they wronged anybody, what's the point of saying anything? Yeah. What's the point of apologizing to something if you don't feel that you wronged anybody, but the person may feel wronged?
This is on a world stage.
World stage.
I didn't watch the whole thing. Did he apologize to, like, Questlove? Because I'm just genuinely curious. Because I know, like, we be joking, like, not joking, but saying, like, you embarrassed all of us on a world stage.
He like, okay. He grouped it in, but like the ones that he singled out.
Of course, he's going to single out the Rock family.
Yeah, he singled out his family, obviously, and of course, us as a people, and just the Academy and everybody, the people that was watching.
Because I'm just like, bro,
because that
completely overshadowed everything else that happened.
Yeah,
Will Packer being the producer of the show, Questlove getting an Oscar, like all the stuff. It was just like nothing else happened that night.